Hello everyone, yeah, this is Cynthia again, and we are still on the AI project that was about stock prediction, and definitely we'll create a model that will help to determine the market structures, maybe the market patterns, depending on the previous, or maybe basing on the previous market structures. And today I'm going to mainly talk about the data set that I'll be using. And here I got an open data set, and it is NSE TAT Global Beverages Limited. I think this is the most relevant data set for stock prediction I got, since it has all the data required, since it has all the data is easy to understand, and yeah, so I opted for that, and I think everyone will like it. Factors I considered before choosing the above data set, I was considering relevancy. Here I mean, before choosing the data set, I had to look for one that has the data which is relevant to my project, that will be relevant to the model I'll be building. And I also considered enough data. Yeah, there are some data sets that don't have enough data, but this one I had to look for the data set that has at least the data that will be enough to make my efficient predictions, maybe the data that will help the model to make the best predictions. And simplicity, and some data is hard to understand, some is disorganized, but the data set, so I had to consider simplicity before choosing the data set. So the data set should be easy, the data in the data set should be easy to understand and definitely to analyze. And then I also considered the data type. Yeah, I had to look for the data set that has the same data type as the data type that will be helpful to the model. Then the important features in this data set that I chose, definitely I had already told you about the name. It is NSE TAT Global Beverages Limited. So the important features in that data set that I will be using in my model, there is date. Date is a very important feature, since predictions are made based on the time of the past and current events, and so that we predict about the future. So you realize when you don't have date in your data, you'll not be able to make the right predictions. Then the data type, the database the data set that I chose has exactly the same data type that will be relevant to my project. Yeah, it has typically numerical, maybe call it integer, that I'll be using. Then the total turnovers, this is a very important feature, since it will help to predict the future turnovers given the current, given over a given period of time. Then the low helps to show when the stock is low, so that it helps to predict very well. Yeah, and then I'm also going to talk about the Bayesian theorem, and typically this is maybe call it a law, maybe call it a rule, and it was created by Thomas Bayes. So that's why it is called the Bayesian theorem, since I think he named it after himself. And it is used to, this is the method to determine condition probabilities, that is an event occurring given that the other event has already occurred. Yeah, so basically this is about probabilities, and in machine learning it is an important event, like it is an important feature. So it is used to calculate conditional probabilities in machine learning application. Yeah, and in simple words, it helps to contribute more accurate results when you're making maybe predictions basing on the occurred events, and you're predicting and you're predicting the future events. So, but I've already told you, you can also call it the Bayes rule or the Bayes law. Then the naive Bayes. This is a supervised learning algorithm which is based on Bayes theorem and used for solving classification problems. Maybe this one, in simple terms, it is a child of Bayes theorem, but specifically for machine learning. It is used for solving classification problems, and it is one of the simple and most efficient classification algorithms, which helps in building the first machine models that can make quick predictions, and it predicts on the basis of the probability of the event. Then the Bayesian networks. It is a probabilistic graphical model which presents a set of variables and their condition dependencies using a directed acyclic graph. The Bayesian networks are ideal for taking on an event that occurred and predicting the likelihood that any one of the several possible known causes was contributing a factor. Efficient algorithms can perform inference and learning in Bayesian networks. So these are basically graphs. Then I also want to talk about the difference between Bayes theorem and naive Bayes. Naive Bayes assumes condition independence, while Bayes theorem does not. That is, the relationship between all input features are independent. Basically, the reason why it is called the naive Bayes is because it assumes conditions. Okay, conditions are just assumed. It is based on assumptions. And then naive Bayes outperforms complex models than Bayes theorem, and naive Bayes, it is very fast than the Bayes theorem. Then the difference between naive Bayes and Bayes networks. Naive Bayes network is a restricted form of Bayes where we enforce the constraint that the class node should have no parents, and that the nodes corresponding to attribute variables should have no edge between them. While in Bayes network, the features are selected based on scoring functions, which mainly restrict the structure and the parameters using data. And then these are the references. You can read more about Bayes theorem, read about more about Bayes network and naive Bayes. And basically this is what I used for my research. And I also have a link to the dataset. It is here down. It is the last one. Yeah, thanks for watching. Please subscribe, comment and like. Thank you.